Present.
Trustee Hummel,
Present.
trustee O'Connor,
Present.
trustee Radke,
Here.
trustee Surflo.
Present.
All right, we will stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance with a moment of silence afterwards to keep those who fought for our freedom. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
And one comment before we get started, happy anniversary, Madam President.
Yes, thank you. All right, number 4, motion to approve the consent agenda. That consists of A, meeting minutes from December 3rd, 2025 board meeting, and B, monthly bills and previous month's journal entries.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Zerflu,
Second.
second by Radke. Any discussion on any of those items?
Shocker.
Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That one carries. Okay, public comment. I see that we do have a couple for public comment. Just a reminder, I should probably get that ready. Public comment consists of 3 minutes. So just keep that in mind, and I will have the timer up here, and then I will also just kind of give you a 30-second wrap it up in the nice way. All right, Larry, would you like to go first?
Okay, believe it this time. Good evening, my name is Larry Eisensee, I'm a Fort Edward Village resident. Last week at the at the FHR meeting, I reminded the committee that my NEPCO Lake neighbors and I remain deeply concerned about our tax to service ratio and are pretty frustrated about the 2026 budget process. So tonight I'd like to elaborate a bit on that frustration. During my remarks, I commented that we either misunderstood the budget process or that the process was broken. I believe both are true. We misunderstood aspects of the process, but that's partly because the process has some problems. Here's how we experienced it. I learned about the committee of the whole meeting through the YouTube algorithm. We attended and shared our concerns about the tax to service ratio, asking the village to address it. We were told by the board to bring our concerns to the public hearing on the budget. We did that. But the public hearing was held on the same night of the budget vote, one day before the deadline, when trustee Hummel proposed amendments based on public input. His motions received no seconds. He was told it was too late. Holding a public meeting or a public hearing without meaningful opportunity for public input to affect change is not meaningful public engagement. I'd also been working under the premise that I would make the board aware of our concerns and that the board would work on some solutions. That premise appears to be incorrect. It seems that we are the ones who need to submit specific proposals ourselves. So yes, we misunderstood the budget process, but the process needs some improvement. Where do we go from here? I was encouraged last week by trustee Hummel's suggestion to do a debrief on the budget process and look for ways to improve it. I was also encouraged by President Mansell's agreement to hold a committee of the whole meeting for that debrief. I look forward to it and will prepare some observations and feedbacks myself. But I am cautiously optimistic. When neighbors raised concerns about roadway maintenance east of Highway 13, the village proposed or formed an ad hoc committee. I served on it. That was a positive step, but to date we've had no closure and no clear outcome has been communicated. So my ask is this.
You have 30 seconds, Larry. Just FYI.
Please follow through. Close the loop on the roads issue and ensure this budget debrief leads to concrete process improvements, not just talk. My neighbors and I are preparing constructive proposals to address the tax service imbalance. We'll present those at the next FHR meeting at President Mansell's direction. We want to be partners in solving this, but we need board engagement and a budget process that allows for meaningful public participation. Thanks for listening and thanks for my neighbors for coming tonight and speaking.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mike Bean.
Good evening, I'm Mike Beam, and I'm also a resident of Port Edwards. Now, as Larry indicated, we in the NEPCO community are concerned about the imbalance between our property taxes and the services received. And so to better understand that cost factor in that relationship, I checked the Wisconsin Department of Revenue tax records for property taxes levied in 2024 but collected in 2025. I compared the Department of Revenue's full value effective tax rate across the communities in Wood County. Of the 32 towns, villages, and cities in Wood County, the village of Port Edwards had the highest tax rate at 0.02122 or 2.1%. And based on my calculations, Port Edwards tax rate is 34% above the average Wood County town, village, or city, and 56% above the average state of Wisconsin town, village, and city. Based on these cost comparisons, I believe we should consider increasing the village's cost consideration, and I think we should consider creating a village task force to significantly reduce costs. We shouldn't be number one in the county and number one and are well above the state average too. I think there's several ways to reduce costs. We've already talked about extending asset lives. We should look at benchmarking ourselves against other villages, towns, and cities, finding ways to enhance control of expenditures, increasing community engagement to find ways to reduce costs, and even considering a partial merger or a full merger with other communities to increase our critical mass. I can see no downside for creating a task force to reduce costs. I just see a potential upside. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts and thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Rosshausen.
My name's John Losshaus, and I'm also a member of Port Edwards and live on Nepco Lake. I attended last week's FHRI meeting and just had a couple observations from that meeting. I didn't talk last week, but I did take some notes. And the first thing was I wanted to thank all of you for your commitment to this community of Port Edwards. In the last 4 years, I've probably come over to maybe a dozen meetings. And for you guys, that's probably 2 months worth of meetings that you attend. So I really do appreciate all the hard work and commitment that you put into Port Edwards. Secondly, the other note I wrote down was impropriety. No one that I have ever talked to concerning the financial process has ever hinted that there's anything shady going on with finances that we've talked about. So learning how the complicated budgeting process works is really an attempt by me and by us to figure out if there are ways for that we can keep the services provided and maybe make a more equitable tax situation for us. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else in the room want to speak? Okay. Anybody online want to speak? I have no so far, but. None. We will move on. Okay. Okay, president's report. So as Larry alluded to during our FHR meeting, it was suggested by President Hummel, Trustee Hummel, to do a budget debrief, which I think is actually a really good idea. We do this a lot in the medical world type of thing. Like it's kind of like a hot wash. You do something, you kind of meet afterwards, you see what works, you see what doesn't work. hearing, the public comments, I think that that is, a good opportunity, one, for all of us who maybe don't understand the budget process to understand it or be able to ask more questions. We can see maybe where something can improve or if something works and that's how we like it, we leave it. I don't think we've ever done that, since I've been on the board, so I think maybe not doing it every year, I don't really see as beneficial, but every couple of years, I think that's beneficial. So I was looking at the end of January, early February, I know we did talk about, trying to line it up for when Mr. Troutman, the accountant, what's the word? Auditor, thank you. Is here so that we can kind of line that up with him and then also get, Nick Apps on board as well, just trying to expedite the process with everybody. Is kind of the goal, so I'll start working on that this week, sending out some communication, see if it works. It might not work for everybody, we might have to break it up into a couple meetings, but I would rather do that earlier in the year than later in the year. So we will start working on that with some of those, things that have been said. We'll kind of keep that all in mind. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot besides, as trustee Zerflu pointed out, it is my anniversary today, so I just want to say to my husband, thank you for allowing me to do this. And this is like the 3rd anniversary I have spent at a board meeting, let alone how many, birthdays and all of that we've also done. But I want to recognize that not just for me and my family, but for everybody around the table, Ben, Diane included as well. I mean, this does take out, a lot of time out of our home lives. A lot of sacrifices have been made, not just around these meeting tables, but looking into things, talking with individuals, researching different topics. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that more, seeing how I've kind of had to experience that, but I just want to take a moment to recognize, that for everybody, and also public who do come on a regular basis and also want to be a part of the process. I appreciate that work as well. That's all I have. Commission and committee reports. Airport Commission, trustee Zerflu.
I don't know, did, Jeremy get the minutes over to you this time? He
No,
did.
I haven't seen anything, nope.
The, only, it was just general operating procedure this past meeting, being that, we got 2 new leases on hangars and, the remodel job, I call it, they got some technical name for the Bureau of Aeronautics for the terminal over there is still going ahead, and hopefully within 3 years she'll be done. Bring her up to date. Nothing's been done since they used to have passenger planes come in many years ago, so. Don't really have anything else, so the next meeting will be the first Thursday in February. Whatever day that is, I think it's the 4th, correct, and it's the 5th. So at 8 o'clock. Always got the coffee on, so stop on by. Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Any questions for the Airport Commission? All right. Police and Fire Commission, I have not gotten any updates.
No.
Perfect. Plan Commission, nothing, right?
Nope.
Public Works Committee,
Tired.
you again.
Edge you out of the way. Get it all out of the way.
Point of order, I got 4.
Oh my.
Okay.
Watch you.
As you can see, we have a lot of bullet points on our agenda, our minutes from our meeting last week. But item 6, Department of Public Works report, Ben gave a pretty detailed description of what's gonna happen under number 7, MSA presentation on the 2nd Street rebuild. And then also, different things that, Dan talked about. The particulars, if you have any questions, I'd wait until Ben gives his report later on the agenda and he can fill you in on it. But, hopefully we'll be able to get a few grants along the way and, take it from there. Questions?
Anything for Public Works?
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay.
What's the problem with relatives?
Parks and Recreation Committee, trustee Hummel.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mentioned last meeting, we delayed having a meeting until there was relevant information. I think Ben and I have both decided that starting the new year, it is important to have a meeting at this point, review kind of where we are with the grant and legacy grant and so forth, and the playground. Take a look at this next year. So we're planning on meeting on the 28th. Picking that back up again for a meeting to be able to report on how things are going now and what we're planning on for the next year.
Any questions? Assuming not a whole lot. Okay, thank you. Public Safety Committee.
Basically the same as Parks and Rec. We did not meet in December. We are meeting, the 28th of January at 4:30. Right after PRC, main point of conversation in that meeting will be the EMS contract. And then normal business, police and fire chiefs reports, things of that nature. Other than that, I really have nothing. Like you said, no, reports from PFC, no candidates moving forward, so we will have more to discuss the 28th.
Sounds good to me. All right, Mr. Hess, PLP Committee.
PLP committee did not meet in December. We are planning to meet again on the 28th of January at 5 o'clock. Upcoming items are going to be following up with some of the property development on Market Street and the DMI progress or lack thereof on the mill property. So we're going to continue to try to push that development.
Okay, thank you. All right, FHR, the one that's got some substance.
Yes, I guess so, with the checkbook. We met January 8th at 4 o'clock here at the Marshall Bueller Center. Mr. INC Larry had spoken and said about the same things that he did at the FHR meeting, and I'd like to thank all the residents that came out tonight. And it sounds like we're gonna do a debrief on the budget process, and it's always good to have input, and always more knowledge is better than learning. So I do appreciate everybody for coming out and voicing their concerns, and we will see what we can do in the future. Also, as far as if anybody does have any, I know John, he had spoke about the finances. You know, we're very transparent here in the village. If anybody has questions about any of the finances, Diane does a great job of getting them out to us. I know sometimes it's short notice, but bills come in short. If they have questions, please don't hesitate. My number is online. You can call me if I don't know an answer. I always turn it over to Ben, and Ben is within 2 days. He's back, and he'll just tell you the facts and give you any information that you need. So I appreciate that, Ben. Also, I did have a correspondence with another resident that was concerned about their taxes, and I spoke with him twice by phone, and I put him in touch with Ben, and we resolved the issue, and you got him to the right places, the assessor, I believe. So with that, I also have two motions that I would like to bring up at the meeting here. The first motion is a motion to award the fourth-time employees a $50 chamber gift certificate as a safety award for only one lost time incident in the past 29 years. This is a budgeted item.
Are you making the motion?
I will make the motion.
Motion by Radke. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Fluger. Discussion. Trustee Zerflu.
Well, go ahead.
You have the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Thank you,
I
Madam.
got you.
I had black hair and a lot more of it back 29 years ago, and 29 years ago, I was already an officer here for 9 years. And when the chamber gift certificate for the safety award came in, in fact, I can even remember the injury 29 years ago. No, it wasn't me, but anyway, you talk about that many years of going injury-free tells you one thing, and that's that they take their job serious. And they know their game plan when they go out to do their work. Okay, I'm gonna cut it short, Mr. Fluger. I know you won't believe that, but I'm gonna cut it short. Next year, in fact, I would like to make a motion this year. But I'm not going to, that we increase it by 50% for next year and bring it up to $75. For the DPW workers. I think it's long overdue and, I think they deserve it. And, I hope, everybody keeps that in mind next year when we get to the, I hate the word, use the word budget again, but when we get to that point. Thank you, Madam Chair, or correction, Madam President.
I guess I would just like to echo that as a past employee of the village, times were tight and the $50 at that time, it actually meant quite a bit to me, with 2 kids and I was a single father, so I would be on board with, maybe towards the budget processing if we can bring it up. And it does take a lot to have no injuries and to be concerned about their jobs. And I think our employees are outstanding. So that's all I have.
I would just like to, again, support that, but then I know you said DPW, just for clarification, it's the full-time employees, not just
I know.
DPW, but just throwing it out there for clarification. Anybody else have anything? Hearing none. Motion made by Radke, second by Fluger. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries.
You're a little delayed there, Rick.
Start answering before the question, good Dan. Yeah.
Okay, I also have another motion. I'd like to make the motion to approve the Service Award Program, SAP. It's a payment for the 2025 qualifying firefighters in the amount of 391 cents per firefighter. This amount of $1,805.46 is the annual correspondent maintenance fee of $920.00 for a total of $2,725.46. This is a budgeted item. I guess, I would ask Ben if you wanted to explain it.
Do we need a
Oh,
motion?
motion,
Your
sorry.
motion?
I made the motion.
Okay.
I'll second for consistency's sake.
Motion second. I'm just gonna go on record and saying that I am recusing myself from discussion and voting because my husband is a firefighter. I'm also in the fire department. So, but Ben, if you want to explain.
So this LOSA program is for firefighters. Each year, there's a qualifying amount of meetings, drills, calls that each firefighter needs to attend. And it's kept track of in-house record. And at the end of the year, that paperwork is given to the office staff from the fire chief. And each one of these firefighters, it's a small token in their retirement program by LOSA to give them a little extra something at the end of their career at the village, being a firefighter. Little incentive. It's not a lot, but it's a little something, and they do appreciate it over the years. And it's a good token for the village for their appreciation of what they do.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? I'm abstaining, but that one carries.
Okay, other than that, I do not have anything at this time. Our next meeting would be February 5th at 4 p.m. right here at the Marshall Bueller Center.
All
Does
right,
anybody have any questions?
any questions for FHR? All right. We'll go to number 8, unfinished business from previous meeting. Hearing none with that, new business? Report from village administrator, and
Thank you. So I'm report the first thing, from Chairman Zerflu, last week. Wednesday, MSA was here, and gave a presentation on, the different grants that are available for any street project, but this year we're looking at getting some grants for a potential 2027 road project of Second Street from Market Avenue all the way to a bunker. This is has a water tower or secondary water towers on it. It also goes in front of the high school and also in front of, the church on the end of our bunker. So we're in the process right now of looking at different, mechanisms. There's CDBG money, LRIP, Clean Water Fund Program, self-drinking, fund loan, and DNR loan forgiveness. At this point, the only thing, and we discussed it during the budget process of doing, is the designing of the road, which we need to do to get the idea of what the project would cost to get the grants filled out. So at this point, the road project, it's not, we haven't voted, we haven't moved it forward. We're in the stage of a potential project, getting grant money together, and getting the yes or the no's. Hopefully we'll have them back, in June or July so that, before we start the budget process of 2027, we will have an idea if these projects will be a go in 2027 and the different, funding mechanisms we will have. So, thanks for the committee members that were here and for everybody that's putting time into this. We had to do some residents, survey work, and everybody's been on board, to help us out to try to maximize the funding from the state and the federal as much as we can. So more details to come on that in the next couple, months. The next topic I have would be, we didn't have a meeting on the parks, but the ice skating rink, just obviously everybody knows this winter has been up and down. At this time, I would not believe the ice skating rink will be open just due to the warm and the cold, and I don't feel that we can get the ice safe enough to put skaters on it, and it'd be cost effective right now with the 3 different layers of ice we have out there. So this year it'll probably be, shut down, unfortunately. I've had some calls and we'll do our best, but I don't see anything changing unless all of a sudden the weather really turns cold and we can make ice and get it safe for the residents out there. The last thing I have is on the 2025 budget. We discussed a little bit in FHR. As of last week, Thursday, we have spent 93% of the 2025 budget. We will still have bills coming in here for the next month, that we need to be paid out of the 2025 budget. Like President Mansa said, we have the auditors coming in end of February. So by end of February, we'll have the budget wrapped up to give to the auditors, and a full report back from the auditors doesn't normally come till June. We'll be able to give the board probably a rough total expense amount from the 2025 budget in March. But normally in June, we hand out the audit packages to the board members, to look over from the audit that happened, in end of February. So at this point, it was a great effort by everybody, we have board members, village, department heads to keep the budget where it's at. And I think we did a great job, and I look forward to be able to present that to you guys then later this year, how everything turned out in 2025. The last thing I have is a motion. For you guys, we have a Wood County certified survey map that I'd like you guys to approve. This is for a lot. Basically, it's a 1.5 acre lot off of Brentwood Drive, Vixen Court, that RC Small Town would like to get that divided into 3 lots. Each lot's gonna be almost a 1/2 acre, so a good sized lot. They're potentially planning on building a couple, I would say duplexes like we have on Bunker Avenue right now. He hasn't given me the plans. This was his first step to get these survey maps okayed. I went through all the ordinances. Being a cul-de-sac, sometimes it gets tricky, but everything is within the village ordinances, and I look for approval for that.
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve the Wood County certified survey map dividing lot 1 of WCCFM 10763 being part of, oh my gosh, NW quarter of NE quarter 35-22, 5 into 3 lots, owner RC Small Town LLC.
I'll second it.
Second by Radke. Any discussion on that? Besides, don't make me repeat all that again. All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries.
The last thing I have in my report is, anybody, I know Lon said in his report, anybody's got any questions on financials, budgets, Any question that you guys have, please, don't be afraid to call me. If it's at the weekends, if it's at nights, I know I've talked to Larry. I'm not afraid to answer questions and get you guys the facts back as soon as we can. Diane worked together quite well, so we'll get you the information you're looking for as long as we have it prepared. So like I said, please make sure we keep an open relationship and let me get you the facts before we have discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, report from clerk treasurer Diane.
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve a temporary Class B beer license for the Port Edwards Lions Club for fishery to be held at Knuckle Park for 1 day only, January 24th, 2026.
I'll move.
Don't all jump at once.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion made by Zerflu. Is there a second? Now you're
Not a lot.
on. Second by Hess. Got
Hey,
it.
Rick
Woo.
jumped in.
There we go.
Thanks, Rick.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Any discussion on that one? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries.
Yeah, I'd also like to ask for a motion to approve an operator's license for Nathan Bogdan at BK Oil / Amazon, valid through June 30th, 2026.
Is there a motion for this one?
I'll make that motion.
We got Fluger. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Hanky. Holy cow, guys. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That one carries. All right. Anything else, Diane?
No, that's it.
All right. Number 12, trustee comments. Anybody have anything?
I do.
No.
So I would like to personally thank you for a couple of things. One, I spent a great deal of time today with Ben and Diane, kind of going through the way the budget is presented. I realize it's frankly, I find it a little complicated. But I got many of my questions answered. I'm sure I'll have more questions, but I found the dialogue to be very helpful. And I'm still in learning mode about what different parts of the budget look like and how it gets presented. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank you, President Mansell, for being so willing to have that meeting of the whole to discuss the budget process going forward. I think that will be very important for us going forward, and the timing will be great. So thank you for that as well.
Anybody else? I just want to say, I kind of reiterate what Ben says. We're all available to talk. I know I've talked to plenty of people. That's why our contact information is online, and that's why we sit around this table so that we can be your representatives. I'm always open to that. I think all of us around this table are. Some people, like Rob, is brand new, so he might have to bounce some more questions off of all of us, but that's okay. Again, that's what some of us who've been here for a little bit, that's what we're here for. That's what Ben and Diane are here for too. As for the budget process, like Eric just said, it is complicated. I've been on the board for a long time now, and I still learn things every year. So I understand from a resident's standpoint, that's also, it's a lot. So just as long as we keep that open dialogue and as long as you guys are asking questions, we can try to get you the questions. Like I said before, sometimes you might not like the answers that we have, and a lot of it may not be our opinion. It might just be like, this is statutorily required, or this is how it has to be. So just understanding there's some things we can't change. And that's not our choosing either. So, anybody else? So, committee calendar. Let's see how many of these I can screw up. Okay, we're gonna start on the 28th with Parks, Rec, and Cemetery at 4 o'clock. Following Parks and Rec is Public Safety at 4:30. Following Public Safety at 5 o'clock is PLP. Then Public Works is on February 4th at 4:30. FHR is February 5th at 4 o'clock. Right? Whew. Alrighty. Anybody has anything else? Last moment, okay, without objection, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:34. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.